There you go.
Hi.
Perfect. So, Mikaela, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much for asking. So welcome to the show. It is so cool and awesome to have you here. So before
Yeah.
we start, I have to give you a proper welcome to the show. You know how to drill. Super easy, super fancy here. Also, before we start, I'm checking here the comments. The real actor, Nikki, awesome. What's going on there? Well, another awesome episode. Hope you stay here and tune in, and let's make this happen. So let me show you the big intro.
Okay.
If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, let me show you. I love it.
I like it.
Perfect way to start, right? There you go. So tell me how your acting career started.
Yeah. So I was always really interested in acting. I went to a camp every summer for a couple of years when I was in elementary school, and
Okay.
it was a zoo camp at the zoo and had nothing to do with acting. But every week after the camp ended, there was a variety show, and so I would always participate in that. And so every week that I did this camp, I didn't really like the camp, but I did like the variety show at the very end, the last day. So I kept begging my mom to, take me back to this camp every single summer, every single session. And, my mom was confused because she was like, what do you mean you hate this camp? Like, what's going on? And finally it clicked to her that I really just liked the acting side of things and the performance at the very end. So I think from there I just got involved in the arts as a kid. I just did a lot of high school musicals. I did Destination Imagination, which is kind of an improv-y thing. And then I went to get my BA in theater at Lawrence University.
Okay.
And so, from there, it took a couple years, but I'm out living in LA now. So, yeah.
That's perfect. And at first, when you were recently started, what kept you going?
I think it's just a new thing every year, honestly, because, I think your goals change as an actor. And at first, it was just, I loved it. And I think now it is still that. But now I think it's just, I want to see what's out there for me and all the possibilities. So, yeah.
Totally. And what were some of the challenges that you had at first?
Well, so I trained in theater primarily. And so when I moved to LA, I was learning, the audition process is different. The self-tape submission process is different. Just everything is so different from theater in, the TV film world, which is more kind of just where I'm naturally surrounded by. So I would say just learning the ins and the outs of how to audition properly is completely different because, when you're in theater school, you get 10, 12, sometimes 2 semesters, weeks worth of, practice. And in the industry, at least, on a professional level in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, that kind of thing, it's okay, you need the script memorized, it's 3 pages. And we need it in like 24 hours. You have to tape it, you have to submit it, you have to find somebody to tape with you, and it really needs to be good. So I would say biggest challenge is just how fast paced everything is, on top of everything being naturally competitive.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you like the most about acting, like in general?
Yeah, I love just like all of the different experiences you can have. And I also really like just the creativity of it, as well as like the storytelling aspect. So whenever I'm watching a show, I'm always like, oh, this is so cool, like I want to be in this show or this or that. So I think just the storytelling, and of course, like you meet some really creative people who are actors. So I think just the community.
Totally. Okay. And like what aspect would you say it's important when you are in the process of character creation? I understand, of course, that it depends on the role and everything here, but like what aspect would you say it's like the number one, let's say, to start to start like on this journey on creating a character?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, at least where I'm at in my journey now, is just making sure that you really understand the script analysis portion of it. Because I think if you don't analyze something correctly, you know, you might be missing out on a big character clue. So mainly script analysis, and of course other things come into that, but that's at least the biggest thing I've experienced right now.
Okay, I like it. And what are some of the things that you enjoy the most when you are playing a character?
Yeah, I think that I like that it can be different every time.
Totally.
And I also really like just seeing how a scene plays out with different scene partners, because it can always be different, especially like when you have somebody step in and play the role and then another person step in and play the role. So definitely those things. And I'm like a huge fan of musical theater, so like anytime I can do any of that, I'm just like, yes, I love that.
All right, cool. Now, besides acting, you're also a musician here. Tell me, like, what do you like the most about music, and what is usually your inspiration to play it?
Sure. Yeah, so I play the violin / fiddle, and I sing, and I've just always gravitated towards playing music. I started violin when I was really little in kindergarten. I feel like it just kind of was something that I grew up doing, and I didn't even think about it as anything other than just like a part of my personality. Singing I started doing in college, so that's kind of newer, but at this point I just really like combining them whenever I can. I think just there's so much variety in what can be played or song or like anything, and like there's just so many options for amazing music, and that's something I really like. Okay.
Now, what are some of your favorite music genres?
Oh gosh, I have so many. I mean, like I think like I don't mind like all the, you know, top 40. I feel like every once in a while I just like love good like Olivia Rodrigo, Adele, Demi Lovato, like the classics. But I also really like classical music just because I grew up with it, and I also really like musical theater. I feel like I have to be, even as a theater person, I have to be in the mood to listen to musical theater, but I just, so those are the three things. I have my regular music, classical music, and then the musical theater.
Fair enough. And another cool thing that you have here is that you also are a freelance writer. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, but I have been in the military for 8 years, U.S. Army. And so I was on a deployment in 2020 and then halfway into 2021. And when I was on deployment, I was just thinking of ways that I might be able to, you know, just make a little bit of an extra income by the time I'm living in LA, because, you know, being an actor, it's really expensive. Living in any city is expensive. And I was just kind of exploring my career options in addition to acting, because, you know, you need a day job. So I started freelance writing overseas, and by the time I'd come back and been home a couple of months, I was doing it full time. I do writing blogs for different companies and small businesses. I write newsletters for like an influencer, for example. I edit things for different companies. I will do email marketing, pretty much anything, social media posts, all of that. So, yeah, I'm just so grateful that, you know, a side hustle turned into basically my, you know, side gig as an actor and performer, because it's just so nice to have my own thing, in addition to like the hecticness of an industry where you don't really have that control.
Okay. All right. Now, if you could describe your career at the moment, in a movie, TV show, book, or play, what would be the title?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I would say just the first chapter of most books, where like it's just new beginnings. I know it's like taking it off the beaten path, but I've been in LA like a month or two, and so it's just so early. So yeah, just the beginning. Maybe I would say Emily in Paris, just like the first episode where, you know, you're just like in a new place, everything's new, you're unfamiliar with everything going on, and you're really excited. You haven't been beaten down yet. So probably Emily in Paris if I had to name something.
Okay, fair enough. And would it be a movie, book? What would it be?
It's a TV show.
TV show, let's leave it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And if also you could describe your career, but on a drink, which one would you choose?
I would say strawberry lemonade, because I think like there's a lot of growing pains in order to, like, there's a lot of sourness in order to get to the sweetness, whether that is, you know, growing pains or being in class and it being really hard, or just, you know, all the things that come with being an actor. There's a lot of hard things, but there is a lot of good things. And again, like, I'm so new in my journey that I feel like I'm just waiting to kind of experience it all.
Okay. And like my last question here, Mikaela, is like, what motivates you? You know, I think we all have those days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have those days in which we just don't want to do it anymore, in which we just feel that what's the point of it, you know, that we have wasted our time in creating something or to do something. I mean, I could go all night by just describing how awful that feeling is. But tell me, like, what usually sets you out of that place, you know, to continue pursuing what you love the most?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been somebody who really likes a good challenge.
Okay.
So for me, I see the industry as something where it's like, okay, like, this is very hard, but I'm gonna hack it. I'm gonna figure it out. So I think for me, what motivates me is like all of the opportunities that I want to get, just like all the performance opportunities that I'd love to do. But additionally, like, I just think literally the challenge is part of what motivates me, because it is really challenging.
I love it, Mikaela. I mean, if I will have to say drop the mic, I do have a mic here, so let me just drop it for you.
Oh, wow.
You got the mic here, so I'm just gonna drop it.
Thanks, I love it.
You're basically killing it, you know, but it's true. That is really cool what you do, and the fact that you're pursuing, the fact that you have done like so many things. I mean, we're talking about army and now actor. I mean, such a totally, you know, opposite way, and the fact that you did it, and the fact that you're pursuing it, it is really inspiring, you know. And I do believe, especially during this whole crazy war, these crazy times, either with COVID, now with Omicron. I mean, that stuff never ends. But the fact that we can rely on you, that we can see your content, that we can see that you're actually making it happen, that is really cool. And I'm super sure that eventually we're gonna basically see you more and more involved into more stuff.
So.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm sure that is gonna happen, because if there's one thing that I do believe is that good things happen to those who are honest with themselves, you know, and those who are doing things by heart, you know. And the fact that you're showing that, as I said, it is super inspiring. And yeah, I just want to give you a huge shout out for that, because I understand it's not easy. And and
I think what you said is really true. Like, you really do have to be honest with yourself, especially as a performer, because, you know, nice feedback is nice, but you need feedback that's also going to be constructive, and you have to be honest with yourself and just be like, hey, where am I at right now? What needs to change? What needs to stay the same? And it's not always easy to do that, but I think it's really necessary. And that's not just with acting, it's with everything. But
I agree on that. Yeah, we need more of that. Yeah. But hey, I mean, what can I say here? I mean, thank you so much for being here. It is so cool and awesome to get the chance to speak with someone as talented as you. And as I said here, the fact that you are working on it, that is really cool. And I want to make sure that you continue doing it, because as I said before, we need more people that we can get inspired. You know, we need more people in which we can rely somehow, and trying to pull out ourselves from all this negativity that is around us, you know, this past couple of years. I mean, it's just crazy at some point. But hey, it is so cool that at least with you, there's a beacon here in which we can just
thanks.
enjoy and see cool content here. And also want to thank those for watching. I mean, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks everyone.
If you're watching this later, thank you. If you're watching this later on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Music, also thank you so much. Also, one of the things that I would suggest here would be for you to put pause. Then you're gonna leave a like, subscribe, follow. Helps me a lot. Help the channel. Helps a lot of everything that I'm doing here. And then you're gonna follow Mikaela here. You're gonna leave a lot of likes. You're gonna make sure that she feels supported, and then you're gonna come back. And again, Mikaela, thank you so much for being here. Before I send you off, I send you off properly. So,
all right.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
And yeah, keep doing it, keep being awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
You too. Bye.